Welcome to Artis Elementary. Today it's boats above and below. Let's talk about what we see above and below the sea. What do you see? I see boats above and fish below. Sailboats, cruise ships. I see lots of different boats and fish and seaweed below. Let's look above. Here are a lot of examples of different kinds of boats to give you ideas. Here are some steps in drawing those boats. You can come back and look at them by pausing the video. Now let's look below. Here are some examples that might give you ideas for your drawing. And here are some steps. You can come back and look at those again and pause the video. Here are some drawings by students just like you. Now, here is Mrs. Woodleaf to lead you through the steps. We are going to be learning how to make boats above the water and creatures below the water. So we're calling this lesson Boats Above and Below. So we'll be making art above the water, including the boats, the sky, any other things that would be above the water, and below, items that are below the water, such as the bottom of the ocean, sea creatures, and all the things that you would see below. Boats above and below. So our art words are line, and we will be using a lot of horizontal lines, especially when we make the horizon. And we'll be using a lot of vertical lines and diagonal lines. And to review what those are, horizontal, straight across, vertical, up and down, diagonal, like this, that remind you of one of the lines in the letter X. Okay, so now we will begin. You will need a sheet of paper. I will be using a Sharpie, but you can use a pencil or crayons, whatever materials you have at home. One of the words that I told you that was going to be important was horizon. So I'm going to write that word right here. Horizon. Now the horizon also reminds me of the word horizontal, because the horizon is horizontal. I will show you now. You'll begin by making a line that goes across your page like so, but it won't be a straight line. We're going to make it look like the top of the ocean. Next, I'm going to show you a variety of ways of making different boats. First, I'll show you how to make a sailboat. So I'll begin with a straight line right in the center above the horizon, right here, above the top of the water, and two diagonal lines. Now I want to point out that the lines go like this, like the letter V. Notice that this looks like one side of the letter V, and this looks like the other side of the letter V. Next, I'll begin making some details, like this part of the boat, which is the mast. You could put 2 lines next to each other. That's called parallel. That is a math word that you'll learn when you get a little bit older. Now I'm going to make the sails that are full of wind. The wind is blowing and the sails are full. So I'll make a curved line from the top of the mast down to the front of the boat, like so. And now I'm going to make another curved line, starting in the same place up here and going down to the bottom of the mast. When you color this in, you need to remember that this little skinny space right here is the sky. The sky you'll paint blue or color blue. You'll need to remember to color this in too. Now, typically the sailboats would have more than one sail, so we'll make another one on the back of the boat, another curved line, like so. Now we're going to add some other details, such as these small windows, which are round, because typically on a boat you see round windows, and those are called portholes. I'll also add a flag. Notice that the flag is pointing this way because the wind is blowing in that direction, filling the sail with air. Now I'll show you how to make a cruise ship. Now a cruise ship is going to be far away, so it's going to be smaller. Watch this. We're going to do exactly the same as we did here, making that horizontal line above the horizon. We're going to make those two diagonal lines for the front and the back. Notice they look like the letter V. But instead of making a mast and a sail, we're going to add the other parts of the ship. We're going to make a rectangle, another smaller rectangle, and smaller. And then you're going to make some vertical lines like this with a little circle on its side. Maybe I'll do this again, make another one here. And you can make some smoke coming out because the engines are working hard, moving that cruise ship across the ocean. I'm going to add some details. There you go, there's my cruise ship. I'll add one more boat. As you saw in the video clip, there are many different kinds of boats, but I'm going to make a small motorboat. This boat would be really fun. Again, straight line going across, diagonal, diagonal, very much like the boats we've already made. But this time I'm going to go towards the front, make a short line here and a diagonal line here. And look, here's a man, and he's waving at us. That's because there's no roof on that boat. Now something has to make the boat go, so there's a motor. Watch this, starting at the back. I started to make a circle. That looks a little bit like a Pac-Man. And this part goes in the water. That's the propeller. That's what makes our boat go. Okay, so we have made boats above the water. Other things we might add are things in the sky. You remember that you have learned how to make a bird, so maybe we'll make a small bird. You already know how to make that. Circle body, circle head, triangle beak, curved line, W's. There's the tail. My bird is flying in the air. And now I'm going to add some other details, such as clouds. This cloud is far away. Maybe I'll make the sun coming up from behind a cloud. I'm going to make a cloud coming in from the side. So I've made lots of details above the horizon. Now we're going to focus on below the surface of the water. So we'll start with the bottom of the ocean. I've made a long wavy line. That's supposed to be the bottom of the ocean where the sand is. And we're going to make some plants. Make a long skinny wavy line and one right alongside and make it come up to a point. That's one piece of seaweed. And look, here's another one that's shorter. We might make another one here. We're going to keep the items under the ocean pretty simple. Here's a different kind of plant that lives under the water. Two straight lines with ovals. And the ovals are sort of diagonal, aren't they? There. Now I might add some different sea creatures that live under the ocean. I'll start with some fish. And you know, fish typically swim in school, so I'm making a little group of ovals here. And then think of the number 3. These little fish. Can't put too much detail because they're far away. Can't really see them. But I'll do my best. And maybe I'll make a larger fish that is hiding behind the seaweed. Wonder why he's hiding. Maybe there's a shark around here somewhere. Here's some bubbles. Let's see, speaking of a shark, I'll show you how to make a shark. A curved line, like so. I'm going to make this his mouth right here. Oh, I forgot to make the fin. There it is. Now, curved line for the top. Now watch this going back to the tail. Curved line, but I'm going to stop before I get to the front. I'm not going to connect. I'm not going to go any closer. And I'm going to think of the letter V. Add some sharp teeth and some gills here, and here's his pointed tail, and of course his dorsal fin. Boy, if I was a fish, I would hide in the seaweed too. They don't want to get eaten by that shark. Other items that you might make, I'm keeping it simple, is jellyfish. You might remember, if you saw the movie Finding Nemo, that there were lots of jellyfish. I think that's enough items for my Under the Sea. I think that this is balanced. I have filled up the space. I don't have a big empty spot. So now I think I'm really ready to add color. So now you decide, either color with crayons, colored pencil, paint, watercolor paint, whatever you have at home. I can't wait to see what your drawings look like. Next, you will add color with whatever art supplies you have at home. I can't wait to see what you create.